time you kiss me, it's like sunshine and whiskey. Chilling on the beach, sweet Georgia beach, not a care in the world, just trying to beat me. Body like an hourglass, sand on the feet, can't help but stare, cause I got the best. Just when I thought I couldn't get any hotter, you slid on me, said I'm a little hot dollar, if you know what I mean. Let's crank it up to 100 degrees, alright. Get me like that, show me like a bullet, burn me up and down, no way, every time you kiss me, it's like sunshine and whiskey. Like Pilot Jack, straight to the head. One shot, two shot, counts on red. Every time you kiss me, it's like sunshine and whiskey. Snow drives out with the drop top down, hair in the wind.
Good morning. Hope you are all doing well on this Thursday. I am trying to pull myself together this morning. I have been a busy girl and wanted to jump on here. So I have not gotten to, because I've been so busy this morning, I have not gotten to test my sound. And if you could give me a thumbs up or something, let me know that you're online, that you hear me okay. That would be great this morning. So I am going to jump in today. So last week we talked about LOANOPOLY, and it's kind of like the process in which a mortgage or a home loan transaction takes place and all the steps that go into it. So last week we started off and we passed go and we got pre-qualified. If we were not able to get pre-qualified, we were able to get a roadmap. Roadmap kind of gives us a outline of what we need to do to get pre-qualified. So we passed on, we got pre-qualified. Now we are going to start shopping. So first thing for me is, one, make sure that you have a really good agent, somebody that you've actually vetted through friends, family, someone like me. If you need to know of a great agent in the area, definitely find someone in your area that knows the market, because it's very important that they know what's happening in a market. So there are a few pieces of who is involved in a purchase transaction. So you're going to have, once you start looking at homes, you're going to have a buyer's agent, which is your agent. You're going to have a listing agent, which is the seller's agent. And then you're going to have your seller. And sometimes your seller is more than one person. Sometimes it's a trust. So there's going to be different situations for each property. The listing agent is responsible for protecting the seller's best interest and making sure that the home is listed and sold, because that's what they're being paid to do. The buyer's agent is your representation. If you're a seller and you're watching this, by all means, you need to have somebody that is good at listing your home. Sometimes there are buyer's agents and sometimes there are seller's agents, or you can have one and the same. So I do recommend that you always have someone that's advocating for you. Okay, so now we know kind of the parties involved, and now you are pre-qualified, so you're going to go out and start shopping. Well, typically what will happen is, because you get excited, you're going to look on Zillow or Realtor.com. Some of those houses on that are already under contract. They've already actually been listed and under contract, but it doesn't show that on the website yet. So it's always good to get with your agent, and what they can do is they can set you up on what's called a drip. A drip is basically taking what you want in a home. So for example, for me, my husband and I just bought in March, and we said, okay, we want this many bedrooms, we want this many square feet, we want to be in this neighborhood that fed into a certain high school, because we didn't want to leave the area that our kids were already in. They can do that. We wanted a pool. There were certain things that we wanted. So a drip was set up within the price range that we were pre-qualified for and the price range we wanted. And typically you want to go a little bit above your price range just so you can see and you don't miss anything underneath that. So we were set up on a drip, and every morning it was exciting. You get up and you go, and anything new that's happening on the real estate database will populate into your drip that falls into those categories. So we would get up in the morning, we would look at our drips and see what came down. If we saw a home that we liked, then we would let our agent know we want to see this house. There was a bunch that we could exclude because it was certain things that we didn't want, certain areas we didn't want, and it just didn't fit us. So we would exclude those, but then we would keep the ones that we wanted to see. So once you go see that home, and this is, I asked my friend Brandy, who is an agent, I said, what is critical when you're shopping? And she said, be ready. Be ready is so important because, especially right now, the market is hot. And so when you do find that home, you need to be ready to act on it, which means you're making a closing typically from the time you act on that within a 45-day period, sometimes sooner. I say 45 days just by a few days of negotiation and then a 30-day close and then a week to move. I mean, you're moving pretty quickly. So you want to be ready. So there's a difference, I think, between actually actively shopping and window shopping online. So when you're actively shopping, you're ready to make an offer. Offers literally, when we listed our house in March, we put it on the market and we had 5 showings within the first, 12 hours, and we had an offer within 24 hours. So that's how fast you want to be ready to view the home and make an offer. Not all situations are like that. So some of the homes, your agent is going to look at those listings and they're going to look at how long it's been on the market. They're going to look at how many showings. There's going to be some data that they can see to see how hot it is and how fast you do need to move on that property. The other thing that they're going to do is they're going to take the homes that you like and they're going to run comparable sales on that property. They're going to make sure that it's actually listed for what you want to make the offer at. Someone can list it. Typically, this isn't going to happen because the listing agent is going to do their job. But for example, if they list it too high, let's say they listed it $15,000, really over what is in the market. Well, your agent is responsible for checking that because we have to make sure that from a lending standpoint, you can still get an appraised value to support it. So they're going to look at all those things. The other thing that they're going to give you is what's called a seller's disclosure. A seller's disclosure is a document that the seller has to fill out to tell you anything about the home that you may need to know, whether that there's been structural repairs, whether there's been a leak in the property. All the information that you need to know about the physical property itself should be on your seller's disclosure. So you're going to have a chance to review that prior to making an offer. So you want to spend some time looking at that when your agent gives you that, and then you'll go in educated about the property. You go look at the property, you love it. Okay, now what happens is you're going to make an offer. So your agent will write up a contract, and it's going to talk about who's paying for the title policy, who's paying for the survey. It's going to talk about what option time you have in your contract. An option period is basically, I give you, seller, $100, and if for any reason I want to back out within 10 days, I can do so and not lose my earnest money. Okay, earnest money is a good faith forward amount paid to the seller saying, I intend to buy your home. Typically, it's 1% of the sales price. So if the sales price of your home is $300,000, a lot of times your earnest money will be $3,000. You do get credit for that at closing. So from a lending standpoint, I'm going to let you know ahead of time, hey, you're going to give the seller $3,000 up front, but you're going to get credit for it in the end. So, sorry, my watch is buzzing, letting me know that my phone is going off, so I apologize. So, the earnest money will be credited, so will your option check. So you're going to present those with your contract, and you're also going to present the offer letter that the pre-approval letter that I did for you last week. You're going to present that with the offer as well. So for me, I also take a step and I tell your agent, hey, let me call the listing agent to let the other agent know what a good, solid borrower you are. So I'm going to make that phone call because we want to put our best foot forward when you make that offer. Typically, once you make the offer with your earnest money amounts, with all the information in there, and your pre-approval letter, you're going to hear typically within 24 to 48 hours from the seller. And a lot of times your agent will be in contact with that agent as well. Once that is done, there's going to be three things that happen. Either one, your offer gets countered, two, your offer gets accepted, or three, your offer gets rejected. Typically, and I asked my Brandy this as well, I said, tell me your percentages. She said about 5% get rejected, 10% get accepted, and about 85% get countered. So the counters can be anything from, no, you pay the title policy, I'm not going to. Or, no, you offered me $10,000 less than asking, I will meet you halfway and do 5. So there's going to be some countering back and forth on most transactions that you have. So don't be discouraged if you get countered. Right now, we are dealing in a market with multiple offer situations a lot of times. So some of the things that are kind of standing out in those multiple offers is asking full price, reduced option period. So instead of giving you 10 days to back out, you can say, I only need 3 days to back out. I'll make my decision pretty quick, I'll get an inspection, and we'll be done. So reduced option times, reduced closing times is what I've heard as well. That's tough right now in this market, but that does happen. And then above asking. So either full price offers or some people are paying above asking price. So if the sales price is $300,000, you make an offer for $305,000. Okay, so that's kind of what's getting those homes under contract in a multiple offer situation. Now, it doesn't always happen like that. Again, your agent is going to be the one, not me. Your agent is the one that's really educated on this and knows when and what time it's good to do those types of offers. So definitely seek someone that has experience in that. And again, if you don't know an agent with that experience, feel free to give me a call. I have several that I would highly recommend in this area, but there are a lot of good agents. I would definitely do some background on them. So that's kind of got us through. Now, once your contract is accepted, then it's move time. It is time to get going. It's time for it to go back into the lender's hands and start moving on all of those things. There's some things that also have to happen on the front end, inspections, appraisals. So next week, we're going to talk about inspections and what's involved in that and what that has to do with your mortgage financing, and then appraisals and what that has to do with your mortgage financing. So we have gotten you pre-qualified, we've gone shopping, and we've got you into contract. So next week we'll continue on, but again, if you have any questions on this, do not hesitate to private message me or comment below and I'll respond. And I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you then. Bye.